Hi, welcome to my video on slime farms. I wanted to show you a couple of designs. I've got this one here, and then I did another one out there. They're the same farm, but just in different locations because I'm playing around with mob spawn mechanics. Anyway, the design here is the golem. You got an iron golem up on a platform here to attract the slime. He also attracts other mobs, as you'll see in a minute. And then we've got a place for the mobs to drop into here. They'll drop onto the magma here. They think that these two trapdoors here, they think they can walk on these. And they'll fall in to the pit here onto the magma, and after they expire, they'll leave their drops on the magma, and then we've got a minecart running underneath that magma, a hopper minecart that pulls the stuff through the magma, drops that stuff into a hopper here, and from this hopper into this chest. So here's the results of my one Minecraft night right here. Not too shabby. This you don't have to get this fancy with this kind of a farm, but I did. I built this in survival a couple of times. This one here I built in creative because I wanted to play around with the design, but I built it in survival several times actually, and one of the reasons I did magma, I started out with magma, was because I didn't have any cactus. I haven't found a desert yet in this world. So I wanted to do magma because I didn't have any cactus. And then also when I started noticing some of the behaviors of the mobs around this farm, I decided rather than just go for slime, I would go for other mobs as well, trying to get extra drops. So this is just a minecart running under magma, pulling this drops through the magma, feeding the drops into a minecart. So I wanted to mention, I did have to play around to keep the skeletons from shooting the golem. I've got glass around the golem, then I've got trapdoors here, so the skeletons have to be pretty precise to get a shot off on the golem here. So his chances of survival are pretty good. And the skeletons tend to just walk right into the magma while they're trying to aim at him. It's a pretty good deal. So the other thing to know about this is where to have AFK. That's always a question. So I built this fancy tower. I've done towers like this in survival, but I did this one in creative. I just did a bubble elevator to take me up to my AFK spot. And just a word about the AFK spot. I put the AFK spot at somewhere between 120 to 126 blocks above the ground, above wherever I'm going to put my farm. So just keep that in mind, 120 to 126 blocks above where you're going to put your farm. And the reason is that I want to limit the spawn radius around my farm. So I don't want things spawning too far out to the sides of my farm, and then I don't want things spawning underground. So by coming up here, the spawning takes place in a 128 block radius in the sphere around wherever the player is standing. So, you know, not much of that. There's a small amount of that sphere touching the ground right now, right around my farm, and that keeps the spawning close to my golem, which is where I want it. Notice something though, and that is that there isn't any real spawning going on directly underneath me. I don't know why that is. It's what I expected, but it's not what happened. So I noticed that with this build, all the spawning was going on around the edges here. So I just kind of observed that, and then I actually built the first farm right in the middle of this, underneath where I am, and noticed that I was getting decent rates, but I noticed that I could probably get better rates if I moved the farm over there. So I moved the farm over there, and if I just stand up here and wait for a while, I'll get pretty good drops. I'll probably get close to a stack of slime. I'll get a bunch of arrows and bones, and I'll get some gunpowder. So it worked out pretty good. So your results may vary. I suggest you do pick a spot for your farm. Try to flatten it out. Don't have a lot of hills around it if you can avoid it. Try to flatten it out. I built this out a little bit. It was just, it wasn't like a big flat piece of dirt like this when I started. And then AFK above it, see where the mobs are spawning, and then kind of put your farm where the mobs are instead of trying to bring the mobs to your farm with this in this kind of an environment. So let's see what's going on down there. So we just drop down our water drop here and come on out. So it looks like we chose pretty well. You can see that there is some wandering behavior going on, like these slimes haven't seen the golem. So I'm depending on the slimes to spawn and kind of wander up close enough to see the golem. Enough of that happens that I get pretty good rates off the farm. So you can see stuff's coming in. Now if you want to control it better, then what I suggest is you do this other design. And that is here I'm still in a swamp biome. Remember, the slimes are going to spawn in a swamp biome. So you got to stay in the swamp biome, but move your farm out in the water here so that there aren't any valid spawn blocks around the farm, and you should get better rates inside the farm that way. So let's go on up. Actually, I'm just going to fly up there. I could climb the ladder, but why? When you're in creative, why bother? So this is at the same height as the other one. It's almost harder to get up there in creative than it is in survival. Okay, this is at the same relative height as the other farm, 120 to 126 blocks above the farm. And here now I'm looking down. I think I'm in a chunk on the middle of a chunk. This one I was able to put it right in the middle of a chunk. These are the chunk boundaries here. And since I'm out in the middle of the water, the spawn is taking place right around my farm. That's right where I want it. Let me turn on hitboxes so you can see what's down there. So you can see that there's lots of stuff, and it's all centered like around the golem, which is where I want it. So I think I'm going to get a lot better rates here because I don't have so much mob wandering. And if we stand here long enough, we'll see slime, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing that. I'll show you what I got drop-wise out of this farm. But this is a better way to control where things spawn. You still have some spawning, like even further off, you know, but like at some of the surrounding islands, there might be some spawning going on, but this really minimizes it. I'm going to go up. I built this ladder to go up. This is a way to clear the platform. Just a little tip for you when you build this AFK spot. Build yourself a ladder to take you up to, you know, around 200 blocks above the farm, 200 to 210 blocks above the farm. And then if you have to ladder down, go ahead. But here I've got water down here, so I can just jump off, land in the water. That's just a way to clear your platform before you come down. So there are no mobs on the platform. And this is what I got for AFKing for one night. So I filled this double chest with slime balls. I've got lots of bones, I got lots of spider silk and gunpowder, and even a couple of ender pearls. So that was one night's AFK. So basically doing nothing and just letting this thing work. I like this design. So if you have an area like this that you can build the farm in, take advantage of it. Otherwise, you can do the other farm and you get pretty good rates out of that farm. Final note is cobblestone. So I made this out of cobblestone. You don't have to do, you saw on the other farm I had a cobblestone ring about, it was 1 or 2 wide around the trapdoors. I did the whole platform out of cobblestone here. That's because sometimes the skeletons will shoot creepers. They'll be trying to shoot the golem, that will accidentally hit a creeper and the creeper will blow up. And I just don't like to do too much repair work, so that it keeps the damage to a minimum that way. So that's it. That was just a quick overview. If you would like to know more about how this is built, or you would like me to do a video on a different farm, different kind of farm, I can do that. I've built lots of different farms and done a lot of tinkering, so maybe have some tips that you can take advantage of. Just give me a thumbs up on the video and maybe leave me a comment as to what you would like to see, and I'll do more. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye.